What's good? What's everybody getting themselves into on this wacky Wednesday? You already know. We're right here. We're decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals, see what's the talk of the town. It's going down. The word on the curve. Yerby. Let me just set this up. Here in Southern California, it's a hot day, beautiful day to be enjoying it. Sunny day. Back to our, normal weather. Well, a little bit hotter than usual, but nice and sunny, clear skies. Just how we love it. With a little breeze. Let me just set this up real quick. Whoopsie. Oh, what am I doing? Now, for those who are curious, on my other channel, I did drop a freestyle. Now, I had some battle rap reactions coming from my other channel, right? But it turns out that they got flagged, right? So, we got to move on to the next ones, right? It happens, sometimes, individuals or YouTube, whatever, for whatever fucking reasons, right? They be coming with mamadas. So, back to the drawing board, like they say. Give it a kind of, well, what's cracking the Mexican G? And for this channel, I did drop a video on the brief history on lowriders and the whole Smile Now Cry Later if you guys are interested in those topics, right? For those who are interested in the raza. But we are still, gonna drop the other one for the battle rap reactions and hope that one doesn't get flagged. Because we already had a few of them get flagged and taken down by YouTube. So, that's the problem with the battle rap reactions is that, it comes with this bullshit. I know people be like, hey, put out more. Like, well, we try, bro, we try. You know what I mean? But sometimes, we hit obstacles like this. We don't make the rules for YouTube. What's cracking like Mr. Pasas de Philip in the casa, the homie Angel? What's good with you guys? Hope everything's a toda madre. Shadow, would you give up your chain if the homies pull a strap on you? Will I give up my chain? No, they're going to have to take it off my corpse. And that's not something like, nah, bad. It's something like that. Oh, trust me, I've been in that predicament, bro. And no. And you can believe what you want, I don't care. It's irrelevant, But no, but that's me though. If I was to give somebody advice, I would tell them, nah, yeah, give up your chain. It's not worth it. Why I wouldn't take that? My own advice is just that when I'm put in that situation, my rational sense of thinking flies out the window. I go back to thinking stupid, Maybe one day, I would be smart enough, right? Because it's really not worth, a chain is really not worth it. Plus, I don't even wear jewelry anyways, but I would be lying if I said that I would think otherwise if I was being put in that predicament. And it's not even so much about the chain or the value. It's about the principle of the matter. And it's not because like you'll be seen as a pussy or nothing like that, right? It's just I don't know. It's just I confuse myself trying to think of the reasons, bro. Trying to figure out why I function the way I function or think the way I think or am the way I am. I don't even understand myself sometimes. It's sad, to be honest with you. I wish I was different. If I'm keeping it 100. I got one of the rappers' name wrong. It's Demon from 16th. Central Valley. All right. Hey, it happens. A lot of these guys, with the names that they have, está cabrón. How's your day? It's going firme. How about yours? I think it's stupid to die over jewelry. If a homie catches you slipping, just give up the chain. Facts. That's what I'm saying. If I was to give people the advice, that's the advice. Like, for example, my son. I told my son, if anybody was to ever come to you and try to rob you for your phone or whatever, give it to them. Because it's not worth you losing your life over shit like this. And I wouldn't want to lose my son over shit like that, shit that could be replaced. You feel me? Because it is stupid. You're 100% true on that. You know what I mean? Like I said, the shit that I do in the moment, I can't think of it, right? Later on, when I relax, when I calm down, or talking to my wife, I realize, like, fuck, man, like, why did I have to react like that? Like, why did I have to, you know what I mean? But at the moment, I can't think. And I wish I was able to. But I got him better. My wife says I got him better, so I feel like I'm making progress. I feel like therapy's working. You know what I mean? Because I'm not as bad, in those type of situations no more. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're 100%. Nothing is worth you losing. You know what I mean? Give it up and let people say whatever they want. Because if they were to be in that predicament, they would do the same thing. You feel? You feel me? And to lose your life just to be able to say that you didn't get punked is so fucking stupid, bro. And I'm just keeping that shit 100. You know. I'm hoping one day I could understand myself a little bit better. And I know I will. I know I will. I know I will. I know I'll, I'll come to peace with myself one day. Yeah, but you're 100% right. For those who tell their kids, nah, you better not let yourself get punked and this, that's fucking stupid. That's the worst advice to give to your child. You must not care for him. you know? Like, people can say whatever they fuck they want. Oh, he got punked. He's a pussy. I don't care, bro. I don't want to lose my son over some bullshit. So, because if he ends up losing his life, I'm the one that's going to have to live with that. Not all these fucking people who just care about witnessing a show. You know what I mean? The worst thing you can ever do in life is try to satisfy the masses. Because they don't care for you. They don't live in your situations. They're only caring to be entertained, bro. At whatever cost, at your demise, if needed, right? Just for 5 minutes of entertainment. So the worst thing you can do is try to impress these fucking hyenas. That's why I live life not trying to impress the world. And the world can think whatever they want. I don't care. Too many people put up a tough guy facade. When it's when it's like, that doesn't make you tough though. It makes you stupid. I wish I was able to think like that in the moments though. Like, I'm rational, right? But in the moments, like, my rationality flies out the fucking window. It's like the anger just takes over. And when I'm angry like that, I'm so petty. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, I know what you mean though. Especially a lot of these rappers be dying for chains. But see, the problem with the rappers that die for chains, the reason for them why it's different is because they put up that facade though. They put up that act though. They put up the lie that they tell and continue to repeat. Right, that they will never let themselves get punked. They mention shit, bro, that shouldn't even, that no one's even talking about, right? They just bring it up just out of the blue, right? Right, and to put up the facade, like, I'll never get jacked, man. I'll handle my business, blah 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 blah. They talk a whole lot of shit, bro, so that people want to test it. And then if they don't live up to it, then they lose credibility. What maintains their finances and their social status? Their reputation, their credibility, right? So if they lose that, then they lose this. But at the same time, they didn't have to build their reputation and credibility on fucking facades, though. You get what I mean? They did that shit willingly to themselves. I always tell people, hey, people will fuck with you regardless, so you don't have to lie. The truth is better than the lies anyways. Because then with the lies, bro, it's only a matter of time before, the truth comes out. So why stress yourself and having to worry about that, bro? Just tell it how it is. Because the audience doesn't give a fuck whether you have the chain or not, bro. What's cracking, Dashful? What's good? The way you are is the way you are. Yeah, but I don't want to be the way I am, though. If I'm keeping it 100, though, I wish I was more civil. Because because of my actions, it also affects other people. You know what I mean? I hate to having to, apologize to my wife if, when we go out places and my temper gets the best of me and I fuck shit up, right? Because then it's like I ruined the night, like getting over shit that wasn't even, you know what I mean? Good. I had an interview yesterday, another one Friday. Really trying to get a second hand. That's right, my boy. That's right. I feel you. I feel you. Trying to keep yourself busy. What's your opinion on the second song sent to you via email? Oh yeah. Did you want me to react to them, or did you want me just to like give my opinions on them though? I didn't know if you actually replied back, whatever, because I get a gang of emails, and sometimes it gets lost in them, right? I try to, you know, answer back as many as I, can. I don't mean I get them in the thousands, but I do get like hundreds though. Yes, that many. It even blows my mind too. Like why? I really don't understand why people care for my opinion. I'd be good. I'd be good in prison. It's never good to politic in there. It's better to just mind your own. The worst thing you could possibly want to do is politic, bro. That's the worst thing to do. It's better to keep to yourself and you'll survive. The ones that want to be the big dogs and big shots in politics are the ones that always end up on the other side. Very few actually end up, staying on the right path. That's why I always say they can make up whatever excuse that they want because they're on the other side. But at the end of the day, the only one that put them on the other side was themselves and their actions, bro. Because they wanted to be that one. And then the seat got too hot. Then they want to play no more. Well, it's too late now. We should have thought of that first. So they can blame whatever the fuck and say whatever the fuck they want. The truth of the matter is, bro, they brought it upon themselves. It's not me hating because we see things differently, right? But those are the facts of things, bro. Tell me about that world. You know what I mean? I start shit and then I victim. Man, what you mean? Yeah, facts. A lot of people do start shit and then they want to act victim. Yeah, facts. That's what Pop Smoke did when he got robbed Beverly Hills by some. Okay. Remember, she refused to give up the train and lost his life. So yeah, and I understand. I understand from his point of view, right? It could have just been a thing that he struggles with. So I understand, right? Because when people, I even like I said, when I'm thinking rational, I try to understand. I try to understand myself, bro. And then I'd be like, okay, if I ever put in that predicament again, I'll for sure have it in the bag, like. But then a predicament like that happens, and I don't know what happens. I wouldn't knew why that happened or why that is. I, I really don't even know. I don't even have an answer for that. And to be honest with you, I hope one day I will have an answer for that. Because I actually would like to know. Can't wait to summer you, Holly. Oh, eso es todo, carnal. That's right. Saludos, homie. Hey, shout out to you, my boy. And, I'm glad I'm a civilian with no gangs ties somewhere around. I can easily give up until I can easily give up everything and try to fight back. Yeah, facts, bro. The stupidest thing you can try to do or to do is to pick this life, because you're gonna get nothing. And when I mean nothing, I truly mean nothing out of this life. And you will pay a big price, a big one, guaranteed, and potentially lose your life. And you're definitely gonna get hurt, because nobody lives this life, going without getting scraped up. You're gonna get scraped up. Now, if people still decide to choose the life anyways, well, then it is what it is. Exactly. Just give up. You're later. I don't give up. You might not have it. Yeah, I feel you, bro. I have a question if that's okay. Yeah, shoot it, my boy. Are you Mexican? Yes, I am, carnal. I wonder who robbed. Oh. What white boy? Don't they have insurance? Oh, they should have insurance on it, right? But some people, are probably like, man, ain't nobody gonna try to rob me, so I don't need no insurance. You know what I mean? When you already know nothing is guaranteed, right? So the fact that you think that you might not get robbed, like, well, who's to say you won't, right? There's a potential chance anything could happen, including your very own turning on you. Would you ever enroll in anger management? Uh, or, but I definitely was the reason for therapy, though. You know, because I wouldn't say it's well, no, it is an anger problem. What the fuck am I kidding? Yeah. Actually, this is one of your opinions. I would love it. You're right. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because I didn't want to click on them and hear them, and then because see, when I do a reaction, I actually like to react to it in the moment. Like actually, I don't like to fucking hear it and then pretend to react. You get what I mean? I like to when I'm doing a reaction, I actually like to like react to it legit. You feel me? Like I actually like to give my, I don't like when my opinions are already made up. You get what I mean? Like to actually do it in the moment. I like it to be, truthfully, pues. If you that makes sense. Because then I'm actually giving my true, honest opinions because I'm hearing it for the first time. Even when it's a song that I already heard, but I'm reacting like that, right? Because I don't already have my mind made up already of what I want to say. You get me? So I get to cook it up as I'm rehearing the song in the moment. Like, okay, this, you feel what I'm saying? No, look, no, you do get see copyright strikes work in different ways, right? So okay, normally when I do battle rap reactions, I do get copyright strikes, but the thing is that the copyright strikes allows the videos to continue to be on your channel, but you just can't get paid for that video. You get what I mean? But I'm not a part of the partner program, so it's irrelevant to me either way. I just do it for the love of the music, right? So I don't sweat on the copyrights. Now, if the artist wants to take it beyond that, right? Like say he doesn't want you using his content at all, then he can apply a different type of copyright strike, and that one does get your channel in trouble, right? Like there's a potential they could shut your channel down, right? If you get multiple of those, right? Because it's kind of like they give you warnings, but you're not listening. You feel me? So it's always better to, I guess, avoid that kind of stuff, right? But either way, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't get paid for this shit either way, so I care less. You know what I mean? That's why I can actually give my really like true honest opinions because I don't get paid for YouTube either way, so they don't have no strings on me. I can say whatever the fuck I want, and I don't gotta worry about nothing. They're not gonna control what I get to say and what I don't get to say. Like I said, I'm not here for the money. I'm just here to conversate. That's why I work. Like I said, I wouldn't rely on YouTube to pay my finances. It's it's an unreliable source. Anything could happen with YouTube, right? So relying it to be your main source of income is, in all, in my true honest opinion, is not the best. Plan. It's crazy how people think all Chicanos rap is Southside rap. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That there's a lot of people that can like associate Chicano rap with like like Sureño rap or Southern rap. It's true. Oh, with Adam Sandler, it's just funny. They warn you about going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody knows what they signed up for, bro. Like there's the fact when I do come across some of these people's videos, right, and they make it seem like this was a like it caught them off guard, like this was a fucking shock to them that they turned out the way it turns out, and it's like And I'm telling you, bro, we are all aware of the game and how it's played and how it is and how dirty it is. Every single individual's aware, bro. Every single individual. So when these fools come out and they try to say, oh, they turned their back on me and they did this, I know that they're full of shit, bro, because everybody fucking knows, bro. This is not, when they try to say like that they put out videos like this to try to like how can I say, deter youngsters from joining. Yeah, everybody knows how the game is, bro. This is not information that by the time these individuals who are no good get the info, bro, the ones in the program already know what it is, from the youngest to the oldest. You get me? So when they try to say all this bullshit that the reason why they throw the videos out there, they're full of shit, bro. It's just for money. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers already know how to street. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they try to play victim, fool. You know? And I'm not just saying that because they ended up on the other side, but those are the facts of things, bro. And they can't tell me otherwise, bro. You know what I mean? And this is not even about no G code or none. It's like, bro, why are you lying for? At least if you're gonna pretend to, actually be honest with people and you're telling these people exactly honestly how it is, then tell them honestly how it is then. And take responsibility for you ending up on the other side instead of still trying to maintain this facade that you're still some kind of down active gangster, even though you're not, bro. You weren't built like that because when the moments came, you weren't ready. You weren't willing to be this image that you're trying to give to these people just because you're insecure about yourself. You want to rewrite what you already, did, the choice you made. Like, wanting to go back and rewrite how your story ended. Because you still want to end it as being a G, but you ain't. And it's even more sad that these individuals claim that they're already over it or they're grown already, but yet everything that they do and their actions that they take says otherwise, though. Yeah, then why do you still want to be called by your nickname? Why do you still dress gangster? Why do you still talk about gangster topics? Why are you still sticking your nose in these kind of activities? Why is it whenever people now question you, you say, well, let's meet up, let's run that, let's get the crack. You know what I'm saying? You still want to be gangster. You still want to be seen G because you're ashamed of how your story ended, bro. Because you thought you were slick. You know? And it's like, bro, you ain't fooling nobody. And if people can't see that, then I don't know. It's a trip. Because if people really moved on past that and they're grown and they're bettering themselves, then they would have no problem admitting that they're no good. There's some individuals that do admit that. See, those individuals already, understand and are okay and made peace with themselves. Or like, people like that guy, Sir Dino, David Rocha or whatever, he never talks about no gangster shit no more. He don't even want to be called Sir Dino. He wants to be called by his biological name, and he don't like to talk about anything gang related because he's aware, he moved, he left that life behind, bro. It's not who he is. See, that's somebody who's actually, made peace with himself and has actually grown. These individuals haven't grown for shit, and that's not me hating. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Um, Double tap the screen. Are you No, I'm actually Mexican American. I wanted to ask, was there been any guys that attempted to get along with everyone in the city area, but it didn't work in their favor? There's been stuff like that, but how can I say? I would have to go into topics that I can't go into. So, um, that's just a question. That's a question that I can't really answer unless I dive into shit that I'm just not willing to dive into on camera or on the internet for that matter. Would you ever do a Crip versus Blood rap battle? East Coast, West Coast. Oh shit! I didn't even bother to think about that. Yeah, that's actually a good idea, bro. I might actually do that. Them individuals have a lot of good music in between, both sides too, and really have a what's that thing called the album name, the gang banging on wax, but if not, this one's battling on wax. Do you lose your temper with only certain people, like people in the mix or affiliate? No, I lose my temper. I lose my temper with everybody except not like my kids or my wife and stuff like that. But like, let's say other people, like civilians or whatever. Like let's say if, like in the sense if I feel like they're trying to offend me, not like if they bump into me or some shit like that. Nothing like that. More in the sense like if I feel like if they're trying to offend me, right? Like if I feel like they're being like smart, then the thing with me is I don't like to talk. If I feel like I'm being offended, then I'm just taking flight. I don't like to do the yelling and hey, what's up? Let's go walk outside and lift up the shirt and be like, man, fuck you, no, fuck you. No, I'm just taking flight, bro. There's at that point, if I feel like you're offending me, then there's no point for me and you to talk no more. You get me? So it's like there's not gonna be no talk. Not gonna be let's go outside. No, none of that. It's like if there's an issue, then it's gonna happen right here, right now, despite wherever the fuck we're at. I just don't like to put up a scene like that, like because I feel like there's absolutely no purpose to that, right? Like, okay, clearly there's a problem already, so why are we gonna continue to keep yelling? You know, I'm just not gonna waste my time like that. But like I said, bro, I wish I wasn't like that though. If I could change something about myself, it would be that. That'd probably be the main thing I would change about myself. I wish I could just be like, oh, yeah, hey, no, it's cool, or just like let it go. And maybe one day, hopefully. I'm ready to send you. The smart thing to do with YouTube money is invest. Yeah, the smart thing to do with any kind of money, right? If you're making like an amount like that, is always to invest in something that's going to keep bringing you revenue, right? Because chains and cars are not going to keep bringing you revenue. As so if you want to be smart, the best thing you can do is get yourself stable, like meaning in a sense where you invested money in something that is guaranteed now for you to keep maintaining getting revenue. Then you can go and buy these whatever things that you want, right? The stupidest thing to do is as soon as you get the money, you go and buy these things, right? Because then the money's gonna keep getting shorter and shorter. The pile's gonna get shorter and shorter and shorter. You know what I'm saying? Like you would figure when people are getting money that the first thing that they would want to do is get their own house and shit like that, but no, they want to go and get their chains. Like there's people that have nice cars, bro, and chains, and they still live with their parents, bro. And it's like, well, I mean, you would think you would prioritize to get your own place first, but no. And then, be asking me for gas money when they be driving the new fucking Chargers and fucking Corvettes and shit, and it's like, oh, you don't have money for gas? That's crazy. I actually know people like that. Like, bro, you got a new car, man. You got no money for gas. That's. Hey, come on, just show me 20. Like, wow, that's insane. But then showing it off to everybody, like, oh, my whip right here. You know how we do. Like, bro, damn, you lucky you're the homie. I'm not. I'll just be like, bro, you just asked me for $20 for gas right now. And see, stuff like that, even though they're the homies, it bothers me because it's like, why do you have to lie, bro? Why? Why? I don't understand, bro. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. I'm not gonna go and buy a car like that or whatever because I'm not gonna drown myself and try to be making, payments and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna put up a facade and acting like I could. You get what I mean? Like I'm gonna be fucking, struggling just to make people I don't even know happy. Or to impress them. That's fucking stupid to me. That's delusional. Like, yeah, I may not be able to have a whip like that, but I got my own pad. you know? So, you gotta know how to prioritize, what to prioritize in this world. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that spend shit on themselves and don't buy their kids anything, bro. Kids are looking all raggedy while they looking all fresh. That's crazy to me too. You know? Shit, I make sure my kids eat before I serve myself a plate. But these people are the other way around. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, bro. So much for putting your kid in before anything. It's a trip. People are a trip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. We're going to try to get up with you guys and we out.